the delegation of powers and powers that can be delegated by the President. So what is delegation? In cases where a constitution reserves certain areas to the competence of a legislative body, delegation would have the effect of bringing about a transfer of functions from the legislative branch to the executive, and in every case, delegation would achieve a transfer of powers. As we all know, the legislative branch is responsible for making and enabling laws to make sure that the spirit of Constitution is upheld in the country and at times amend or change the Constitution itself. The Congress is responsible in this branch, composed of the House of Representatives and the Senate. The executive branch, on the other hand, carries out and enforces the law. It is composed of the President, the Vice President, and the Cabinet members. This means that the Constitution transfers one of their specific authorities by one of the three branches of the government to another party. But delegation should not therefore be regarded as permission or authorization. Next is delegated power. It is a power given to national government. It is a government power that limits what the three branches can do and what it is in charge of regulating. These powers are specifically assigned to various branches of the government. Examples are coining money, declaring war, and making treaties with other nations. Next is Non-Delegation Doctrine. It is a principle in administrative law that Congress cannot delegate its legislative powers to other entities. Non-delegation doctrine simply means that one branch of the government must not authorize another entity to exercise the power or function which it is constitutionally authorized to exercise itself. This provision typically involves Congress delegating its powers to administrative or to private organizations. This prohibition will avoid malfunctions and abuse of powers. For instance, administrative agencies and private organizations were given these powers. They might use this power for their self-interest. Here are delegated powers of Congress. First is the power to tax. The Congress have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and excises, to pay debts and provide common defense and general welfare. If this power is granted to another agency, then that must be a violation of inherent limitations. Second is the power to declare war. The Constitution grants the Congress the sole authority to declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. Third is the power of borrowing. The Congress have power to borrow money on the credit of the state and then create binding obligation to pay debt as stipulated and cannot thereafter vary in terms of its agreement. Next is power to regulate money and currency. The Constitution gives the Congress power over the currency of the state, including the power to coin money and regulate its values. Lastly, coins, weights, and measures. The Congress also have power to coin money, regulate the value thereof and the foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. This is construed to authorize regulation of every phase of subject of currency. Next topic is about powers that can be delegated by the President. The Constitution explicitly assigns the President the power to, first, to sign or veto legislation. The Constitution grants the President the authority to veto legislation passed by the Congress. This means that the President can refuse to approve a bill or joint resolution and prevent its enactment into law. Second, command the armed forces. The President is the Commander-in-Chief with the responsibility of protecting and defending the state, wherein he is authorized to direct the movements of the military forces placed by law at his command. Ask for the written opinion of their cabinet. Here, the President may require the opinion in writing of the principal officers in each of the executive departments upon any subject relating to the duties of their respective offices. Fourth, convene or adjourn Congress. The Constitution provides that the President may, on extraordinary occasions, convene both houses or either of them. Next, grant reprieves and pardons. The President have the power to grant pardons, reprieves, respites, or remissions of punishment or to suspend, remit, or commute the sentence of any person convicted of any offense. Lastly, receive ambassadors. The President can receive ambassadors that can help him in maintaining diplomatic relations with the other states. Many presidential powers are delegated powers that Congress has accorded presidents to exercise on its behalf, and it can cut back or rescind.